Buddy, it's AF Gojiro, and I'm bringing you guys another what if on my channel. This what if is what if I was Frieza's brother. You can see I'm his twin brother, to say the least. So yeah, also make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. YouTube has some bug of making you unsubscribe, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And without further ado, let's get to the video. Now, this story would begin in Frieza's birth. Of course, King Cole would have been happy about his son's birth, but he actually went to have another son. Of course, he knows that he doesn't need another since he already has Cooler and Frieza, but he decides to raise another one. And with this, he then rips a part of his shell, and he then uses the doctor's technology so he can make another son. With this, I was born. If you're wondering, no, I'm not giving all my memories inside. I'm practically introducing myself as a practically new character. But if you're wondering, my nature is actually neutral. I'm actually a good person, not a bad person. Because I'm practically made from neutral King Cold, so I'm most likely to be good in nature instead of my brother who's evil in this timeline. Now, of course, Cole actually been surprised to know that he has another brother right now. Well, of course, King Cole telling him that just in case if Frieza gets too arrogant, he must have another son take his place. He knows that. And he decided to call me Martine. Yes, I'll keep my original name since he doesn't think anything about it. Now, of course, I'll enter like a princess, but I'll just tell him just call me Marty and nothing else. Of course, I'll just call him father and nothing else. But my power level at birth will actually surpass that of Frieza. Frieza had a birth power level of 530, and that was in his first form while being suppressed. While I will have a staggering power level at birth at 2 million. Yes, I'm practically stronger than Frieza and have much more potential than him. Yes, Frieza is indeed a hybrid and has incredible potential, but so am I. So yeah. With this, I'm practically doing much more powerful than Frieza. With of course Frieza being irritated that he's not the strongest in the family. But of course, Cool is actually happy for me. Since I'm practically not as arrogant as Frieza, but also have a kind of a good nature. Of course, Cool actually decided to train me a little bit, seeming as he wants to help me grow in power. With me, of course, not denying the training. I actually love training. Of course, Kiko just tells me that I don't need it, but I just know that I really liked it, and it actually improves my power. Well, of course, Kiko just allowing it since it doesn't hurt much. Of course, he tries to actually give Frida a little tip of doing that, but Frida just rejects it, seemingly as he doesn't want to trade. Let me tell you that he loses as I continue to trade with Core. Eventually, Core will decide to leave the Frieza Force, but he wished me good luck in my future with me nodding. If only I would have traded with Core, and eventually we actually would have met again. If wondering, yes, Frieza still is enslaving the Saiyans, but I most likely would have known as the snipers that tried to kill Frieza. I actually hate my brother. I hate him for being this evil. Of course, I know my father will hate me afterwards, but I do not like my brother. Yes, I do love him, but my brother is getting too cruel, even for his own liking. So after killing those snipers, Frieza would then introduce the new technology of the scouters. With me explain what they can do instead of just Frieza explaining them. So yeah. Of course, Frieza been a little bit irritated by me interrupting him, but I just know that I'm much more nicer than him. So I would just practically introduce myself. With of course he would actually be surprised that I'm much more nicer than Frieza. With me telling him that I'm not like my brother or father. Only like my older brother, Cooler. With of course King would actually be surprised that Frieza has another brother except me. What I'm with me just so that Cooler didn't want to get in Frieza or King Cole's business for a really long time. So I would have actually told King Vegeta that I actually wanted him to help defeat Frieza. Of course, King Vegeta doesn't think that they can go this powerful, but I would just decide to trade a low class Saiyan if King Vegeta does not agree. So, I would have traded Bardock, the ever first low class Saiyan to reach the elite level. I actually says that he has immense potential, just like I do. So I would have trained with Bardock. Of course, Bardock would be a little suspicious of me, but eventually, after years of training with me, if we it's not this training, it just spawn with one another. Bardock is on my level, he'll get close to it, but he'll gain incredible power and Zenkai. With this, eventually Bardock will decide to trust me, and eventually he'll even grow attached to me as a brother, if not even a best friend, you could say. And with this, of course, Bardock's son will still be born. We actually need pretty happy for him and tell him that he has immense potential. Even if he saw something like him, then he'll be a monster. And I'll just chuckle. With Baro just thinking, if only Goku is actually stronger, has much more potential, but his power level is still the same, if not 10 times bigger, so yeah. Of course, Goku have been claimed to be a low class Saiyan, but not the lowest class Saiyan. Actually having a power level of 20 instead of the original 2. Since Bardock is a lot stronger, so yeah. If Bardock has a staggering power level of 3 million after training with me, while I will actually stay in my final form, simply as I want to actually know how to suppress my power unlike Frieza. Since Frieza only knows how to suppress power through transformations, well, I can suppress my power because I will have learned Ki, unlike Frieza. Of course, I have a good relationship with both Gina and Bardock, as I see him as my second family, so yeah. But eventually, Frieza will still end up destroying the planet. I was saddened by Bardock and Gina's death, and even I will actually know about the Broly being sent away. Of course, I'll just ignore my brother and what he's doing, as I'll go to Vampa and introduce myself to both Paragus and Broly, with me explaining that I want to help them or become Frieza. But of course, Paragus won't to do anything. But I tell him that Kivages actually saved their lives since Paragus was destroyed. Would of course Paragus be surprised if only this is a young Broly in Paragus. So yeah. Of course, I'll actually decide to Frieza Force with them working undercover for me. Of course, Paragus will actually realize that how much of a good person I am, so that actually respected his people in the wars that he has. Of course, Vegeta will actually know about me being Frieza's brother, but unlike Frieza that he hates, he will actually see me as kind of an idol of strength and power and hope. I've always wanted to help people no matter what, even if my family hated it. Hated it. Of course, I would have trained Raditz seemingly as he's the son of Bardock, the oldest son, so I would constantly train with Raditz and Vegeta at most. While Nappa would have trained with the young Broly and Paragus. Of course, Nappa actually wouldn't grow to have the cocky personality he has in DBZ, but he actually grew a much more unclely figure. Well, I will continue to train Rats. Rats will actually see me as his uncle, seemingly as I have already taken care of him for years, ever since the planet Vegeta was destroyed. Of course, I know that Frieza is the cause of that, but I've actually heard of rumors of Frieza training. With me actually being confused, why is my brother training? Could it be that he fears the Super Saiyan? Is I always had to go to Earth. Seemingly as I remember that Bar tells me that if Frieza tries to attack, he'll say go to Earth. With me, of course, knowing about it. I will decide to head off to Earth with Rats and the rest of the Saiyans. Eventually, when we arrive on Earth, if you're wondering, we arrive by the time at the end of the Piccolo Jr. arc, which was like that Goku is already married with Chi-Chi. He doesn't have Gohan, but he's still pretty powerful. Well, you could say that this Goku is actually stronger than my power level 650, being actually stronger than his original counterpart because of his force potential. He'll actually have a little bit stronger with facing most of his opponents, but no, nothing less. So yeah. Of course, I would explain to Goku everything about his past and how I know him. Of course, Goku does not remember anything. As he said when he was a kid, when Goku scratched back of his head and saying yes, I'll just sigh and tell Goku that maybe that's why he has a memory loss. Goku will be surprised. Of course, teacher is actually kind of suspicious of me and knowing about Goku, but I'll just explain to her that a long time ago I was a friend of his father and I treated him and I was kind of his sensei and mentor throughout the years. But of course, GGB is a prize, in which I would choose the other states, even though they have much more better personalities in the original timeline. Ratsu actually been surprised to know that his brother is strong, even though he's grown on a weak planet. I tell Ratsu don't insult Earth, since it's practically a peaceful planet and one of the most peaceful planets that I've seen. So I tell Ratsu to behave himself in his language. With Ratsu, of course, apologizing and swearing profusely because he knows how hard training I could do if he wanted to. So yeah. Of course, I was ready to Goku that I want to overthrow my young brother, or my twin brother, Frieza. Of course, Goku would actually been surprised to know that I have a brother and that is an evil one. I tell that I heard rumors about Frieza training. Of course, I know how powerful my brother's potential is. Since I have much more powerful than his, I would have decided that I must prepare alongside the other Saiyans. So we will head off to train. Eventually, Goku will mention the timetable. With me deciding to train with Goku, I wanted to actually train Goku since I saw a lot of potential in him, even more than Raditz. And eventually, after me and Goku trained for a full year, Goku actually awakens Super Saiyan. Yes, Goku actually went Super Saiyan because of me training with him. And by the time all other Saiyans will actually manage to achieve Super Saiyan, while Broly will be able to master Ikari thanks to the help of me being stronger than him. If we're doing this parallels, I'm gonna give you all the Saiyans. If we're doing Gohan is still born, it actually seems as a kind of an uncle figure. He seems as Uncle Marty, so yeah. Now, for the parallels, I'm gonna say that Goku is growing strong, but I would just train him a little bit so he can handle himself, even as someone like the Ginyu Force. I'll train him hard, but I'll do train him pretty good. If only Piccolo also would have joined us and eventually decided to become a good person. Also because he sees me kind of a threat because of me being quite powerful. All the Zivites will actually see me as kind of a neutral person, but also see me as a good person since they can sense my key, but also be quite surprised to know that I'm this powerful. I just thought that it's because of my potential and the constant training that I would have done with my older brother, Cooler. Of course, Goku wonders if Cooler is also evil, but I just tell Goku that Cooler is most likely neutral. He doesn't care what happens to both King Cooler or Frieza, but he does care about me, seemingly as I was the only one that actually wanted to be with him throughout the years that I was born with. So yeah. Even though, yes, this Cooler is actually much more nicer than the original timeline, or from the movie, you could say. So I will continue to train Saiyan. And here's the Saiyan's parallels after we train and get to Namek. If we're doing yes, we're still heard about the Dragon Ball, or most likely would have researched it for the research of the Orbs and eventually found Namek. So yeah. Now, if Frieza also would have trained for at least a month or two, but he does not get golden or something. He does get incredibly powerful nonetheless. Now, here's the parallels for the Saiyans. Now, Goku being the weakest of the Saiyans, he's still pretty powerful on his own right, having a power of 18,000, which is incredibly powerful for him in his age. Piccolo is actually stronger than Gohan, having a power level of around 300,000. Nappa having a power level of 500,000. Barry is having a power level of 450,000. Raditz having a power level of 5 million. Vegeta having a power level of 20 million. Broly having a power level of 30 million. And Goku having a staggering power level of 100 million. If wondering why Goku is the highest of them all, it's because he has much more potential than the original, but so is because I trained with him much longer. He also is the first ever Saiyan to use Super Saiyan, so he has a better control over the transformation. With this, we'll be more than prepared to face off against Frieza. With our training, we became incredibly strong and powerful, so yeah. We'll use Bone's ship that she would have made for all of us to travel. And eventually, we will arrive on Namek in 2 days. With us being prepared to face off against Frieza, I'll say that Frieza's key is actually much more higher, and he's actually in his final form instead of just his first form, which is actually surprising to me. Maybe Frieza has learned how to press his key even in his final form. I'll then look at Frieza and tell him if he's ready to fight. Frieza then chuckles and asks me if I want to fight, but I just tell him that no, my students will fight him. Frieza then confused as Goku will instantly appear in front of Frieza and with a powerful punch to knock him back. Frieza will be caught off guard, but of course Frieza will just chuckle and tell him that they should not underestimate him. I'll be confused and Frieza power up to 10% and his power level skyrockets to 1 billion. This actually surprises me, but all the other Saiyans will go to Super Saiyan. But some are not able to match Frieza, while others were able to overpower him or even match him. While Broly was able to grow in power as a legendary Super Saiyan, he will most likely able, after a tour in battling Frieza for a long time, will able to reach a power level of 6 billion, which is pretty high. But Frieza will then power up more power into 50%, and his power level skyrockets to 5 to 50 billion. His power level has skyrocketed a lot more than it should have been, and with me being surprised. Of course, I'll tell Frieza if he's truly ready to fight me. Frieza tells me that Rion is worse than me and deals a powerful punch on my face, but I literally did nothing but move even. Frieza was surprised as I'll move my face back at him, which I stare at him in his soul. Frieza will then jump back and ask me how am I this powerful. I tell Frieza that he may have trained by himself, but I have trained with Saiyans with incredible potentials. I tell him that he overestimated not only the Saiyans, but also me. With a roar that I would have shake the entire planet neck, if not even slightly the universe. As I'll power up into 10% of my power, and my power level will be 10 trillion. Frieza then surprised as my power is gigantic. In comparable to him, he's just an any comparable to me. I tell Frieza if he wants to fight. Frieza then powered up into 100%, mastering of course and going to 1 trillion and telling me that I should get our cocky. I tell Frieza that he's the one getting cocky, is I'll power up a blast, and I tell him Hakai. Frieza then surprised as the blast hits him and evaporates him. This was not a real Hakai, but I would have known about Beerus for a long time. I'll actually spar with Beerus, or you could say that Beerus will beat me up, but you will actually see a potential in me since I'm a good person. Of course, I was easily able to defeat Frieza, but that Hakai was actually a false Hakai. This thing can practically destroy everyone if it's weaker than me. If it's strong as me, you most likely damage him a lot, but nothing less. So yeah. And guys, this is the end of this part. Hope you guys enjoyed this new brand wave that I made on my channel. See you around, guys. Take care, my Z fans. Make sure to like, subscribe. This is Gogito. Sayonara.